Welcome to Day 6 of the Current Affairs series. We will first cover the national material for Monday, July 10th, 2017. The first headline is Adarsh Housing Society Scam. The Adarsh Housing Society is a 31-story apartment complex in a prime location in South Mumbai. It was meant for the families of Kargil war veterans, but several top politicians, bureaucrats and military officers became the owners of the apartments in the complex. The scam was exposed in November 2010. Comptroller and Auditor General of India (CAG) prepared a comprehensive 199-page inquiry report on it. The army had recommended demolition of the building, and the Bombay High Court had given a ruling to demolish the society, but the Supreme Court has given a stay order. Let's go to the second headline. No daily ration for military personnel in peace areas. So as per recommendation of the 7th Pay Commission on allowances approved by the government, military officers in peace stations have stopped receiving daily rations. Instead, they will get a ration money allowance, which will be fixed after factoring in the Consumer Price Index. The Consumer Price Index (CPI) is measured by taking a basket full of consumer goods and services, and then you take a weighted average of prices of that basket full of goods and services, and then you observe market for price change for each item, and then determine what will be a good average price for those products. By doing this calculation, appropriate money will be transferred to the officer's bank account. Pay Commission is set up by the Government of India, and it gives recommendation regarding changes in salary structure of its employees. Since India's independence, 7th Pay Commission has been set up on a regular basis to review and make recommendations on the work and pay structure of all civil and military divisions of the Government of India. The first Pay Commission was established on January 1946. It was under the chairmanship of Srinivasa Varadacharya. The pay for armed forces was not decided in the first Pay Commission. It was decided by the first Pay Committee set up after the first Pay Commission, and it was called as Post-War Pay Committee. Pay Commission sends its report to the Finance Ministry for approval. After careful consultation and discussion, only then it is passed. Let's go to the next headline. Political crisis in Nagaland Ministry. The Chief Minister of Nagaland, Shurhozili Lizitsu, has sacked 10 legislators of his ruling party because they were conspiring to overthrow their Chief Minister. To capitalize this movement, the former Chief Minister T.R. Ziliang asked Governor P.B. Acharya to dissolve the current government and form a new one. He claimed he has the support of 33 NPF legislators and 7 independent legislators. Both the present and former CM are from the same party, which is Naga People's Front (NPF). Now this situation has created a political crisis within the Nagaland government. Always remember, it's the MLAs, member of legislative assemblies, that elects the Chief Minister through a confidence of vote. MLA are chosen directly by the people. Majority MLAs in Vidhan Sabha forms the ruling government. Since the MLAs are chosen by people, they are a legislator, meaning they make laws. However, a CM can or cannot be an MLA. We do have CMs who are not an MLA. With that, MLAs have the power to overthrow a CM if a CM cannot retain confidence of their MLA. But an MLA has been elected directly by the people for 5 years, so it's not that easy to sack them. So remember this point very carefully. An MLA is a very powerful figure in Indian politics. In fact, I believe that an MLA's decision is what matters in day-to-day regular people's life. Ahmedabad gets World Heritage tag. The walled city of Ahmedabad, founded by Sultan Ahmad Shah in the 15th century, has been declared India's first World Heritage City. The World Heritage Committee (WHC) of UNESCO announced it. The walled city of Ahmedabad is a 5.5 km walled city area with an approximate population of 4 lakh, living in century-old wooden residences. It is located on the eastern banks of Sabarmati River. It has rich architectural heritage from the Sultanate period. The next headline is Concrete may help curb air pollution. When it comes to air pollution, compounds like carbon dioxide, methane, sulfur dioxide comes into picture. Sulfur dioxide emissions are among the most common pollutants into the air globally. Sulfur dioxide occurs in volcanic eruption, fossil fuel combustion, power plants and other industrial facilities, and also in locomotives, ships and other equipments. It is a colorless gas or liquid with a strong choking smell. It is produced from burning of fossil fuel and smelting of mineral oils that contain sulfur. Sulfur dioxide dissolves easily in water to form sulfuric acid. That's why acid rain contains sulfuric acid, sulfur dioxide plus water, and you must have heard acid rain damages buildings and monuments. Anyways, concrete buildings in urban areas can serve as a kind of sponge absorbing sulfur dioxide to a high level. Even though producing concrete causes air pollution, and turning it into an environmental solution could lead to a new thinking in urban planning. The next headline is Manipur partially cut off by landslide. So yesterday we saw that Tripura is connected to rest of India through NH8, National Highway 8, that passes through Assam. Similarly, the state of Manipur connects to rest of India with National Highway 37 passing through Assam. This is a mountain highway and has been blocked by a landslide. Again, this landslide occurred due to flood caused by heavy rain. Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, these are all low-lying area and they get flooded due to southwest monsoon. There are 7 rivers in Manipur, all are flowing above warning level. Let's look at some international headlines. Intense wildfire in California. So California is in the western region of United States near the Pacific coast. That's a subtropical region, meaning it receives a fair amount of sun rays. Now wildfire happens in both winter as well as summer season. Right now it's the summer season fire. Now how does it all happen? Well, air supplies the oxygen if fire needs to burn. Heat sources spark the wildfire, therefore lightning, burning campfires or cigarette, hot winds and even the sun can all provide sufficient heat to spark a wildfire. So California lies next to Pacific Ocean. Here the wind is hot and heavy due to El Nino effect. It's a powerful downslope wind coming from the Pacific. Plus during summer, sun provides that much needed heat. During summer here the vegetation turns from green vegetation into yellow dry fuel. When these factors come together, all that's needed is a spark in the form of a lightning, maybe campfire, cigarette, or maybe someone deliberately igniting a fire. Anything can be possible. So it could be a man-made fire or maybe a natural one. Even the United States government isn't fully sure about it. But then I have stated the facts regarding its geographic location, wind condition and vegetation cover. So this is all that's needed to know about the California wildfire. Now we'll look at the second headline. G20 hails India's labor reforms. It's a well-known fact that as per the World Bank, India is at 138th position when it comes to starting a business in India. Some of the problem are dealing with construction permits, registering property, paying taxes, trading across borders, resolving insolvency, all those kind of stuffs. So this year India made some changes in insolvency, taxation and in the procedure of starting a business. In a nutshell, India is introducing labor market reforms to provide security to workers through national skill development programs, provident fund facilities, insurance schemes, etc. Then increasing female participation in the workforce in rural areas through Manrega schemes. So these are some of the reforms that the government of India initiated this year. I wouldn't say that these are working efficiently and they are great reforms, but something is going on. Looking at all these initiatives, the G20 members praised India. In the 4th video of the current affairs, I've explained the G20 summit in brief. There I said that G20 invites guest nations and other international organizations to the summit as well. Global institutions like World Bank, International Monetary Fund, World Trade Organization, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, then International Labour Organization, and Financial Stability Board are among the partner guests to the G20 summit. So you see, it's all about forming impression wherein you will be able to attract funds, investment, basically market your country as a possible destination for foreign investments. So this is what most of the country does in the international summit. As a citizen, we may not see all the benefit and advantages of the schemes that the government of India rolls out, but the ultimate goal is to make it look good for the foreign investors. After all, you're marketing your country and doing a sales pitch. Even the Indian Foreign Service officers, even they do this during bilateral meetings. Let's go to the health news. The first headline is swine flu cases have gone up in India. So H1N1 flu is also known as swine flu. It's called swine flu because in the past the people who caught it had direct contact with pigs. It's a seasonal flu and is contagious. Usually an affected person witnesses severe respiratory infections. To fight this infection, oseltamivir and zanamivir are 2 drugs that are available in the market today. According to Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, these 2 medicines have been classified under Schedule 10 medicines, meaning all drugs under Schedule 10 cannot be sold over the counter without a proper prescription from a registered medical practitioner. Recently, these 2 drugs have been taken out of the Schedule 10 list. It is a good thing because when swine flu cases are on the rise, the drug will be available to patients easily. But then on the other hand, in India we don't use caution. The doctors will prescribe these drugs so widely that eventually it will stop working. From this news, a big question appears to my mind. What is the difference between bacteria and a virus? Now bacteria are single-celled prokaryotic microorganisms. It exists everywhere on the planet. Example, soil, water, humans, plants, air, etc. everywhere. Now bacteria can be either good as well as bad for the health of plants, humans and other animals that come into contact with them. A good example is curd. It has good bacteria for body. And an example of bad bacteria is cough from a throat. Now a virus has no cell structure and requires a living host to survive. That's why when a virus hits us, it takes over certain part of our cell and makes us ill, especially our immune system. Infections are both caused by a bacteria and a virus, but bacteria can be treated by antibiotics, but viruses need vaccination. Let's go to the next headline. Curcumin nanoparticles found to shorten tuberculosis treatment time. Now curcumin is the basic ingredient of turmeric, that is haldi. Scientists were looking at the nanoparticles formulation of curcumin. They found that it has several positive properties in the treatment of tuberculosis in mice. It reduced the rate of reinfection. Now currently treatment with anti-tuberculosis drugs takes about 6 to 9 months, and long duration to complete treatment substantially increases the risk of TB bacteria developing resistance, meaning too long the treatment, TB bacteria stops responding to the medicine. It adapts to it, which is a huge risk. Now because of easy availability of curcumin, the duration of treatment to achieve complete eradication of the TB bacteria is reduced significantly. Another benefit is that sometimes people stop taking anti-TB drugs for a few days due to liver toxicity, and curcumin reduces liver toxicity, so that's a good sign. Therefore, curcumin nanoparticles will turn out to be beneficial in TB treatment. Again, curcumin is the basic ingredient of turmeric, and turmeric belongs to root family of ginger. Now let's look at the agriculture headlines. Farmers' problem with harvest. When farmers produce something, it needs to be sold. Farmers do not have the space to store their products. So when they take the produce to market, it needs to be sold. Otherwise, unnecessary expenditure adds up to their cost. And this is where the vicious cycle of the farmers' crisis begins, as they are forced to sell their produce cheaply. This leads to dip in farmers' income, which sometimes sparks off agitations. Now government has procurement centers like Food Corporation of India, where the government is willing to give minimum support price to the farmers. But then it takes more than a month for the government to procure. Farmers don't have 1 month. That's why they sell it to merchants at a below minimum support price. Clearly you see a flaw in a government's plan. You see rules are there, provisions are there, authority is there, money is there, but the implementation plan is poor. Even when the government finally starts to purchase, the farmer has no guarantee that his produce will be sold, because often it is rejected on grounds of quality. Once again, the farmer turns to the private merchant to sell at lower prices. The minimum support price is meaningless without a procurement guarantee. That's why we are seeing farmer strikes, their demand for universal loan waiver, and increase in the minimum support price. On the other hand, central government has said this problem has to be dealt by the states. Now states have to figure out how to raise money to overcome the cost. So these were the important current affair materials that I've found in the news of Monday, July 10th, 2017. Let me know your thoughts about this 6th episode. As usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.